What is going on, everyone? It is Garrett, and welcome to the top 5 designs of the week, episode 2. So this is coming out a little bit later than it should. There's a lot of things going on around my house, around my family and stuff like that, so I do apologize on the late uploads and not uploading as much as I should. There's going to be a new tutorial coming out Monday. Of course, I had that pre-recorded already, and not to talk too much about my life, but just a lot of things going on like I've been saying. So I'm going to be trying to get uploads at least as consistent as I can. It's really hard to do lately, but if you guys can just bear with me for the next couple weeks, and that'd be great. So with that being said, let's hop right into the top 5. So the 5th place we have Roman D, who did a digital render. I'll give you a 7 out of 10 on this one. And first things first, man, it's a really cool idea and really cool thing. A few things I would really try to worry about with your pieces is maybe trying to work with a more high quality rendering software, such as like Octane and stuff like that. I just think that the render itself is a little bit too grainy and less quality. To go off that, the setting up itself is actually really cool. Lighting's a little bit difficult to talk about, but I do like the whole entire columns and the orb in the middle and stuff like that. If you ever look at Beeple's work, he did stuff for like album covers, like Imagine Dragons and stuff like that. Really good work that it has a really high resemblance. Next two things I want to talk about is the gray overlay that you put on top of the whole entire thing. I don't think that was necessarily needed. I think that if you kept like more natural colors, the whole black and white scheme, and had the ring inside light everything up, it would have looked a lot better. And then adding that flare looked really mediocre, and I think that it just looked not as good as you wanted it to. And if you just messed around a little bit more with that kind of stuff, you would have came out with a really good piece. So with that being said, really good job. You got a 7 out of 10 on this one. You guys can check him out on his Instagram at RomanPhilipD. Getting right into the 4th place, we have Jacob, who did a social media design for Horizon Studios. Giving 8 out of 10 on this one, man, and there's just a few things I do want to talk about with this. First being is balancing text and sponsors and the on spacing stuff correctly. And what I mean by that is on the edge of the logo. So if you hit Control T on the logo, there's like little bracket lines come up behind the logo, the transform tools. The edge of the left hand side of that and the edge of the left hand side of the document, the sponsors of the text should always be in the middle of the screen. It's just like balancing that kind of stuff. So that gap between the logo and the edge of the document, you always want to balance the sponsors and the text and stuff like that just straight in the middle of that screen. It's just more eye pleasing, and it just has a better vibe to it. With that being said, I do also recommend with balancing, if you're going to be doing that carbon made style on the left hand side behind the sponsors, that you should of course do it on the right hand side. You only did it on one side. And then making sure the sponsors, of course, the same size. I can tell right now that the Discord is just a little bit smaller than the Twitch and the ASDO one. And the last thing I want to talk about is the gradient that you did on top of the logo. I'm not against using a gradient on a logo like that. I just recommend that if you did it, it would be a little bit less. It just seems a little bit too fake and stuff like that. And the text, if it was just that same yellow that you've been using throughout the whole entire rest of the piece, it would have just popped out so much more. And then even adding a little bit of yellow on the logo, maybe adding the sunburst more yellow or something like that, could really change the whole entire design. But of course, you don't have to try it out. It's just me talking about it. But regardless, I love the background design, the circle templates, the circle stocks, the cool little geometric and the cool little curve ones popping around, and gradients and stuff like that. It looked really good. So I do want to commend you on this, and it was a really good job overall. But you got an 8 out of 10 this one, and thank you for submitting, and you guys can check him out at Twitter on JacobFX. So the 3rd place, we have Akshat Agarwal, and I'm going to apologize right now if I screwed that up. He did a UI mobile kind of mock-up for Red, a good app design. Giving 8 out of 10 on this one. And first things first, man, the branding on Behance was spot on. If you guys have any extra minutes to go check it out, there's gonna be a link in the description to it. I'm telling you guys, spot on branding skills. You guys need any references, please go check that out. But there's just a few things I do want to talk about. Is font choice was a little bit difficult. I know it is a mobile app, so you want it to have a little bit more bold font face to it, but I just feel like you could have chosen maybe a different font for some of the typefaces. I think that the live streams and the stats screens were definitely the best. The sponsors were pretty cool. However, I think that you're going to be overusing those gradients, posting it on every single page like that. I know you're trying to be, repetitive and stuff like that. You make sure that everything matches, but I think that's a little bit too much. But overall, everything's really nice. You followed that red kind of style scheme really well. That kind of gray red feel to it. The duotone you did behind the leading brand in gaming entertainment was really nice. The Our Story was a little bit difficult to read if you think about it. You're on a mobile app, maybe have a little bit bigger or something like that. But you have to take into consideration, you know, what size phone screen they have and stuff like that. But regardless, you did really, really well on everything. I love the whole entire branding idea. I love the whole entire mock-up and the presentation you did on Behance. So if you guys have any extra minutes, go check that out on Behance. The link is in the description below. Check them out on Twitter at xbergvisuals, and you get yourself an 8 out of 10 and a 3rd place. Thank you. So the 2nd place, we have Lars, who did a social media design from Obey Mixo. I'll give you 9 out of 10 on this one, and I'm sorry if I'm going to have a lot of repeating numbers like 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, and stuff like that. I am going to be stopped doing the 8.5, 8.3, all that kind of annoying stuff like that. We're just going to keep it straight 8, 9, 7, 5, whatever the number is. But to talk more about this, it's a really, really cool idea, really cool social media design. A few things I did not like, the rest is just spot on. The first being the word designer in the background. Now, I know it says designer because I'm assuming it says designer because it says DES and then NER. That is not needed. You can take that straight out. If someone's on his profile, they're going to understand that he's a designer right away from the things that he posts, the things in his bio. Of course, the M for Mixo is there. You don't need to put his name in the bottom. Or the Obey logo. If you were to do that, you should put it in like a little bit of small text like they did in the Horizon sponsored links on the few places back. Just because it could have balanced everything a little bit more. And then the last thing I do want to talk about is the gradient kind of glow looking thing that you did on the bottom of the M logo. It looks really, really cool. However, I think it would have looked a little bit better if it was a little bit more gray and white and like a steel color instead of this kind of dark gray just kind of masking over the middle of it. But that's just my personal opinion. The rest is really, really good. The glows, everything just matched really, really well, so I do want to commend you on that. It's a really good social media design. It's really nice, and I bet you it looks really, really good on profiles. But there's just a few things that I definitely would recommend changing out and stuff like that. But you get yourself a 9 out of 10 and a 2nd place. Good job. So the 1st place, we have Ismael T. I'm sorry if I'm butchering any of you guys' names. I did not mean it at all. He did an advertisement design for, it looks like a streetwear company. You guys can check him out on his YouTube, actually, at Atobia. I'm not really too sure how I'm going to be pronouncing names like this. Some of them are actually like really, really, really awkward. But yeah, it's a streetwear kind of design. The link's in the description, of course. But I'm going to give you a 9 out of 10 on this one and a 1st place. So first things first, man, I think that the streetwear kind of style to this is definitely spot on. This is what you get your 1st place. That the whole vibe to it really matches this kind of streetwear clothes. A few things that I definitely would recommend would just those little like paper rips you see in that corner is making them see a little bit more natural and a little more real instead of just having like the white on the black. If you go look at the Weeknd's cover photo for those at the Beauty Behind the Madness, or not that one, whatever the most recent album that he released except for Starboy, he has that kind of rips on his album. You guys can look at that as a reference. But everything else is really, really nice. The font is a little bit hard to read in some situations, but other than that, that's everything, and everything's great on that piece. But it's basically all I have to say for the top 5 designs of the week. You guys can check out all the winners in the description below. You guys can check out their portfolios, their websites, their work that they linked me and stuff like that. And if you guys do want to submit your work for the top 5, there's going to be a link in the description below to Google's form link. You guys can fill that out and stuff like that. If you'd rather me do like a Twitter link and stuff like that, let me know in the comment section as well. But that's basically all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for waiting so long for this to come out. And if you guys have any questions, just send me an email, or you guys can check my website out at garrettmalone.com and use the contact form there to hit me up. But thank you guys so much for checking out. Make sure you turn the notifications on my channel to get my upload schedules, and every time I upload you get a notification on your phone and stuff like that. And I just hope to see you guys in my later on videos. Peace out.